I'm here today with Tristan Pottas, Chief Executive of First Development Resources, a UK-based company seeking major mineral discoveries in Australia. FDR has 3 copper and gold projects in the highly prospective Paterson region of Western Australia and a uranium and rare earth element project in the mining-friendly Northern Territories. Hello, Tristan. It's good to talk with you.
Hi, Alan. Yeah, great to be here.
So, Tristan, before we look in more detail at the projects, you've assembled an impressive board ahead of an impending IPO in London later this year. And of course, you have Power Metal Resources supporting you as your largest shareholder. How did all this come together?
Yeah, you know what, Alan, I think it's a great story. Prior to joining FDR, I had been working in the UK on a significant mining project in Yorkshire, during which time I'd been involved in every aspect of it, from the early days, from getting the planning approvals and permissions to commence with the project and take it forwards, involved in the sales and marketing, involved with the financing and obviously the geology with my geological background. And it was a really exciting period in my career. The project was acquired by a major mining company, and my role obviously changed. And in a major, there is a job to do, but it's not quite the same sort of environment when you're working in a junior for a junior company. And so for me, I always knew that the excitement in our industry is definitely in the opposite end to a major. Yes, it's high risk. The rewards could potentially be life changing, but it's a really exciting place. And so I was looking to move back into that space, and I guess it was a speculative email which I sent to Paul Johnson, which landed in his inbox at a time when he was just considering, building a team to take forward First Development Resources as their Australian-focused spin-out business. And I think because of my experience, which I guess covered every aspect of getting a company going and demonstrating that I could turn my hand to all different elements of the job which needs to get done, combined with my technical experience from having worked in Latin America and Australia previously, I guess Paul figured that I'd be a good fit for what is effectively a blue sky exploration company, because although we know, or we believe we've got some really exciting projects, the reality is to take these things forward, it takes a lot of commitment, a lot of enthusiasm, and just a lot of passion. And I am passionate about what we do. So I think that resonated with him, and I'm still here. So hopefully it was a good choice by him. And you're right, we've assembled a board which I think is perfect for FDR. It's a great mix of technical expertise, career experience, combined with corporate specific experience, and between us all, I think we cover all the bases. And what I don't have from a board level, it's absolutely made up for by a team, and it is 100% a team effort. FDR, we're working as a really strong collective to push these things forwards. We've recently just hired a 6th board member, actually, a very experienced finance director who will be introducing going forward. So that is the board complete. You're right insofar as we've got excellent support from Power Metal, and again, look, when you're in these types of businesses, which there is so much risk, there is so much that you're up against, you need that strong support. And in Power, we've got that. Paul's been through the various cycles. He understands that you have to look beyond the challenges which are right in front of you. He knows, because you've got to just push through these things. And having, as I say, Paul's experience has been a massive help for the whole FDR team. And we're just really looking forward to push the project forwards and take it to the listing and beyond.
Excellent. So, of course, on to Australia. Australia is, of course, renowned as a premier destination for mining companies. Can you just talk us through that?
Oh, look, there's no doubt. Look, Australia is a fantastic place to do business. Supportive government, excellent infrastructure, and obviously awash with mineral potential. I think the fact that it's now, or Western Australia is now the #1 destination from on the Fraser Institute Investment Attractive Index, demonstrates that. But it's a vast country. There's a lot of exploration that's gone on there. There's been some fantastic discoveries, but there's a lot of ground that's still to be explored. And I think where we are operating, we've given ourselves the best chance to take all the experience from the other areas, which have been successful, and apply that to what we're doing in the Paterson and the Northern Territory.
Sure. Okay. So on to your Western Australia projects first. Paterson is, of course, close to Greatland Gold's Havieron project, plus, of course, the Winu and Telfer mines are also in the region. Can you tell us a bit more about Patterson?
Yeah, so the Patterson is highly prospective, massively underexplored. There's numerous examples of existing assets, like you say, like Telfer. Nifty's been around for a long time, and then the success recently of Greatland and Rio obviously demonstrate that there are still discoveries to be made. We do often draw the comparison between what we believe we have in the Patterson to being geophysically similar to that at Greatland Gold, but that's, I think, where we have to almost stop the comparison, because what we've identified is basically 3 magnetic bullseye anomalies. Now, we've identified these through the interpretation of historical data which we've acquired, and then supplemented with our own seismic investigation, which has then been interpreted. And what we believe is that we've as you can see, we've identified 3 targets, being the western, the eastern, and the border anomaly. And our primary focus is the eastern anomaly. Now, we recently announced that the desktop study for the Walal project is complete, and as part of that study, we were able to get a really good sense of the depth to the target, to the Proterozoic rocks, which we believe host these magnetic anomalies, and the geometry. And the eastern anomaly is a large target. It's 2.5 kilometers by 2.5 kilometers, and just from its its geophysical signature, it does have a striking resemblance to the Javieron anomaly, which led to that discovery. So there are certain similarities, but we now need to turn to the drilling to really demonstrate what's in the ground. But it's a great place to do business. As I say, Western Australian government massively supportive of exploration, demonstrated again by the fact that we were successful in the exploration incentive scheme, where we've got this grant for up to 160,000 Australian dollars to put into the ground. And so we're really looking forward to getting the listing done and getting to work in the Patterson.
Excellent. So, of course, you've got the Braeside, Western Ribbon Hills assets there as well, and of course, we mentioned uranium and rare earths are in something of a purple patch at the moment, and of course, FDR has got significant exposure to the CELTA project in the Northern Territories. The Australian government recently granted a $140 million loan to the Anjabana Rare Earths project in Western Australia. So there's a real drive and urgency to locate these new resources. So can you tell us about CELTA?
Absolutely. CELTA is, in my opinion, a real opportunity for FDR. Like all of our projects, it's early stage, but the results from the work that we've already done is very encouraging. It's a large land license area which we have just north. It's just north by Australian standards. It's 200 kilometers north of Alice Springs, in an area which is pretty active from an exploration perspective. You can see on the map there, Alan, that there's numerous companies exploring in the region. At CELTA, our focus is on uranium, rare earths, and it was initially, and our desktop study that we completed identified 4 separate uranium targets and 4 separate rare earth element targets, but it also highlighted the potential for pegmatite geology in the area. Obviously, when we discovered this through the interpretation, we very quickly mobilized a team to site to go out and confirm the presence of the pegmatite, which we did do, and we took some samples, and the geochem analysis which we've got back, although it didn't have a slam dunk of lithium, but it's not every time you get a hit on the first campaign. It was a reconnaissance campaign, but what we've seen through the geochemical analysis is that we believe we may have a zoned pegmatite system, which allows us to really focus our attention going forwards. Not only is Western Australia supportive from a government perspective, the Northern Territory is also really supportive of exploration as well, and we're already forging excellent links on a government level, but also with government organisations such as the Northern Territory Geological Survey. And again, the potential of the area is absolutely highlighted, not just because there's numerous companies exploring in the region, but companies like Arafura Resources are kicking goals every week. It sounds like they've recently announced another MOU for a supply agreement to GE Renewables for neodymium and praseodymium, 2 highly sought after rare earth elements, which complements the earlier MOU, which is signed with Hyundai for the delivery of battery metals. So, they've got an excellent deposit. The Nolan's Bore is the highest grade rare earth deposit in Australia currently. But the geology which underpins CELTA is postulated to extend up through Megawatts ground, which is the green on the plan there, who are at a similar stage to FDR onto CELTA, and it's a massive area, right? It's the size of Greater London, and we've probably touched an area about the size of Hyde Park. So there's a lot to go at, and we're really excited to get out there and look to develop that project, or the multiple targets on that project further post-listing.
That's excellent. That's really exciting. And as I say, there's a real focus in Australia to develop these projects. So on to now the upcoming milestones. Of course, we've got the IPO in progress, but operationally, that you've stated some milestones here on the website. What should FDR shareholders be looking for in the near term? And of course, I gather there is another development today that you can update us on in regard to these milestones.
Yeah, I mean, look, as with any exploration company, we're constantly developing the project, and unfortunately, very quickly, company documentation does almost become out of date, and the presentation on the website is being updated as we speak. But yes, Alan, you're right. Today we have announced, or we put out an announcement, which is basically a bit of a catch-all in terms of a project update. The update provides potential investors with the latest developments across First Development Resources. So we just go through each point individually. We'll start in the Patterson on the Wallal project. To do any work on the ground, we have to have good relationships with key stakeholders, landholders, governments. That's something I've learned throughout my career. It's about getting the right relationships in the right place at the right time and doing things properly. And although regular government rules would take us down that path anyway, we're being very proactive in ensuring that we've got everything in place. So back in January, we applied to have our heritage clearance survey booked in, and it's taken us up until basically today to get those dates secured. And the heritage clearance survey at Wallal is taking place later in this summer in August. I'll actually be going out to site to assist with that process to strengthen those relationships with key stakeholders. We can't do any work until this heritage clearance survey is done. And so we're really pleased that this is happening now, again, ahead of the listing, to allow us to really prepare as much as we can. So post-listing, we can hit the ground running. And a way, to do that is obviously to form strong relationships with, contractors who can help us. And again, the announcement today, we were really pleased to announce that we've signed a contract with DDH1 Drilling Limited as our drilling contractor for the Wallal project. DDH1 have a vast amount of experience in the Patterson. They've drilled some, deep holes. They've been involved in some significant discoveries as well. They drilled the discovery drill holes, at Javieron. So to get a company of that caliber working with FDR is a great boon for the business, and we look forward to working with them going forwards. And the intention is that, as I said, get everything in place, so when we do get the listing, the money is going into the ground. And that's something that is at the core of FDR's belief. We are taking these things forward. We are looking to develop in a rapid way. Also in the announcement, we spoke about the fact that the Braeside West and Ripon Hills desktop review is now complete. So that means we have desktop reviews in detail across all the projects. And again, like we've seen at Wallal and Celta, Braeside West and Ripon Hills is shaping up to be another exciting opportunity for First Development Resources. I guess the review didn't change what we already knew, insofar as we have multiple targets for further investigation. But the work we've done has really allowed us to really focus on where these potential targets are, and gives us something to aim at again post-listing. And again, in that part of the world, you've got companies like Rumble Resources, who again are just doing great work identifying these massive systems. The one that Rumble have identified, it's something like 60 kilometers in strike or 8 kilometers in width, with over 40 priority gold and base metal targets. If we can get anything like that, what a result for FDR. So they're some of the key. We also spoke about Celta briefly earlier in this interview, but the announcement provides a bit more color around this zoned pegmatite system, which we've identified, again, and given us another target to go at and apply some really detailed methodical exploration, as we do across all of our projects. But we've now reached a point where we're very clear as to what we want to do going forward. And I think obviously every study that we complete only strengthens the investment proposition, which will be put into the market soon. And in order to prepare for that, the team, so 4 of the 6 board members will be going out to Australia next month. And again, the purpose of this visit is to get the team familiar with the project. So when we are engaging with the market, they can talk with a lot more confidence. They've seen, and that they understand just what we're looking to sell. Because everyone who's listened to me will know that I'm very passionate about it, and the team, getting them also whipped up into a frenzy will only be good for FDR. So it's going to be a very, very busy couple of weeks. It's certainly not a holiday. We land, and then from the minute we land to the minute we leave, we've got a completely packed schedule. There's no downtime. We'll be taking advantage of the opportunity to meet with all the suppliers, all the consultants who are helping us, who have helped us, and that will continue to help us going forwards. We're also taking out our broker's analyst to come to site again to allow him to have a better understanding as to what we've got. So when our broker's engaging with the market, they can talk about it with a lot more confidence. So there's a lot coming up. Obviously, the focus is absolutely on the listing, and just a brief update on that. The board, as I mentioned, is now complete. The advisor group, all the key advisors, is now working together as a unit, and I'm feeling pretty good about where we are, Alan. There's a lot of work to do, but everyone's engaged, everyone's motivated, and everyone's looking to hit the listing in the most efficient time possible, and then post listing, get that money into the ground, take FDR forwards, and make a significant discovery.
Fantastic. Well, we wish you every success with that trip to the site in Australia, Tristan. It sounds very exciting indeed, and obviously we look forward to hearing from you and the board members when you come back. Meanwhile, we wish you and the board every success with the IPO. Tristan Pottas, Chief Executive of First Development Resources, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks very much, Alan.